Amazon has built out basically most of the stuff that you order on Amazon is handled by Amazon from all the way to your doorstep. And they're actually shifting where they're sort of making money, and a lot of suppliers are mad about this. They're making more and more money on their third-party merchants. So this is an aggregator play where consumers go to Amazon.com to buy stuff. Now, you could be a third-party supplier. You could set up a website, and no one comes to my website. I have to be on Amazon.com. It's like, well, I mean, you sound like a newspaper publisher right now. Like, people can still go to your website. It's your job to acquire them. Oh, then I have to pay Facebook to acquire. Well, welcome to the real world. And so there's a and so you're on Amazon.com. You buy. You're not necessarily buying from Amazon. It says, the little fine print next to the buy button, you're buying from XYZ sort of third-party merchant. That third-party merchant has to give Amazon a share of that purchase. They have to give Amazon an inventory fee or a storage fee for storing stuff in their warehouses, and they have to pay part of the delivery. So Amazon has built up all this infrastructure that you need to use as a third-party merchant if you want to be on Amazon to get your stuff delivered to the customer's house in a day or 2 days. And it's so consumer friendly, and consumers love it so much that you have no choice but to pay it. And meanwhile, everyone can be on Amazon. There's kind of perfect competition, particularly if you're an undifferentiated product, that Amazon can keep taking more and more of your margin. And that's where they sort of make the money. So Amazon, their differentiation is not just that they have the big supply chain and they're building it out and they're getting efficiencies from scale and all these sorts of things that make sense as far as the whole scale sort of argument, but they're combining that with owning customer acquisition. Customers go there naturally, and so suppliers have to pay to get in front of customers. And by the way, you probably have to buy ads because we're going to
say an extra 10 or 15% of your profit is going
which
to
is
ads.
Basically pure profit for Amazon. So I think it's pretty compelling. I mean, the fact of the matter is that Amazon.
So you're not sweating the single digit or low double digit IRR if you're an investor.
Well, I think Amazon.com has always been barely profitable. I don't think they've made any grand promises about being anything but. It's a function of how large the market can be, right? Like the return, I'm not here doing valuations, but there is a function of what's the growth over time, what's the margin, what's sort of the defensibility, and what's the absolute value, right? Amazon is an absolute value play. It's like, look, we're going to push so much through this system in the grand scheme of time. I mean, that was my articles about Amazon. It's called the Amazon tax. Like, buying Amazon is buying an option on a tax of all economic activity. That's their goal. Yeah. Like, it's very large.
I know. It's very upsetting to me. It reminds me of my experience rooting against Luka Doncic against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the last series. I have never been a Luka fan. I was a diehard Wolves fan going into the Western Conference Finals. And I had, I was toying with the idea that maybe Anthony Edwards is going to show up Luka Doncic on this massive stage. Didn't happen. Similarly, I think that Amazon is bad for American businesses because they use their scale to extract these massive fees that then limit the upward mobility of small and medium-sized businesses. It's very frustrating. But when I look at what they're doing with the logistics business and extending it out, similar to how by the end of that Wolves series, I had to just be like, well, holy crap, Luka's amazing. This plan from Amazon, I mean, I don't love what they're doing. I think there are bigger questions as to the net impact and whether this is positive, whether it will be positive. But purely from a strategic standpoint, I can't help but admire the elegance of what's happening here, where Amazon is doubling down on all of the logistics advantages that differentiate Amazon and building toward this future where they can just insert themselves into practically every e-commerce transaction in America, because they're integrating all of the logistics prowess and just offering it to people for a price. And whether the sale happens on Amazon or not, long term, you can see that making sense for like massive swaths of the e-commerce economy. And I mean, we'll see, but I would guess that's going to be profitable for Amazon. I'm not worried about it. With all due respect to Christoph.
I have two questions. Number one, how many Amazon.com boxes are in your house right now?
Probably like 8. I don't know. We've become an omni-channel family though. I make a lot of trips to Target. We order online and then I go pick up from Target. So I'm trying to wean us off of Amazon, but Amazon still does deliver convenience like no other.
Number 2, do any of those boxes have a Luka Doncic jersey in them?
Absolutely not. Although I don't know. I may be rooting for Luka as the finals approach here, but
What?
yeah, we'll see.
You can't give up on Boston now. It's been a 10-year bit.
God. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet. But yes. Any final thoughts on Amazon? We also got a funny Elon side